When music gets hard, come see Professor Lee Euph.
Hey guys, I'm Professor Lead Youth, and today I'm going to be reviewing for your guys' midterm. Midterms are coming up quick, and I've already taken mine, but this is just for you guys if you wanted a quick review before you guys have to take yours. I got this handy little packet that'll go through some of the major stuff we'll be touching on for the midterm. Alright, so the first part, as you can tell on the front page here, is the circle of fifths. So we just have to fill it all out with the major and minor key names, plus writing out the flats and sharps. So let's just get started. We know the very top is the key of C, so it's a capital C that'll go on top. And the key of C has nothing in the key signature. And I'll do the minor keys last. So we'll fill out the whole circle and then we'll go back and do minor keys. So that's key of C up there. And then I like to start with the sharp side first. So then I always start with my first sharp if we have our order of sharps here. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Our first sharp going this direction. Our first sharp is F. So we're going to put F, goes on the very top line here. We're going to have our little F sharp. Now to figure out what the actual key is called with this one F sharp, remember we go up half a step. So we take the last sharp, which is F sharp, and you go up half a step, which makes it G. So this is the key of G. This should be familiar. Then go to the next box. We make sure we put our F sharp again, but this time we put the next sharp, which is C. So now you take the last sharp, which is C sharp, raise that up half a step, and C raises up to D. C sharp raises up to D. Alright, now we move on. We have our F sharp, C sharp, and then our next sharp, which is G. It goes up there. So you take the last sharp, which is G sharp, raise it up half a step, and that'll put you to A. Hopefully you guys are getting the pattern at this point. F sharp, C, G, and D sharp is the next sharp. Raise D sharp up half a step, and that'll give you E. I'm going to come down here, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and then A sharp. I think I didn't even put the D sharp in the right spot. Okay. It's a little hard because this is very tiny. But anyway, so our last sharp was A sharp, so you raise A sharp up half a step. That gives us our B. B major. We come down here, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. It's all just very repetitive. D sharp, A sharp, and then we add our next sharp, which is E. It goes up here. So you raise E sharp up half a step. That would give you F. But F is already sharp in this key signature. So it's actually going to be the key of F sharp. It can't just be F because, like I said, F sharp is already in the key signature. Okay, and then we come to our last one here. So again, we write it all back out. F, C, G, D, A, E, and the last sharp is B. Right there. Now you raise B sharp up half a step, that'll give you C. But C is already sharp in the key signature, so you need to make sure that you write the key of C sharp. So here's your whole order here. Cool, so that's the whole sharp side. Now on to the flat side. Just like how in the very beginning we have to remember that no sharps or flats is just C. There's no like trick to learning that. You just have to memorize it. Same thing when it comes to one flat. It's just going to be F. One flat, F. And we know our one flat is going to be B flat because you take the same order but write it the other way. So I'm going to put it over here. And again, we read it. I'm going to read it that way. So our first flat is going to be B. And you just have to remember that if it's one flat, it's a key of F. Again, no real trick to remembering that. Just, you gotta remember it essentially. And now we start working like we did with the sharp side. We had one flat here, so B flat. So we make sure we rewrite our B flat. and then we do the next flat, which is going to be E. So B and then E. Now, the trick for flats is you take the second to last flat, and that is the major key. So, even though we ended with E flat, we're going to go to the second to last flat, which is B flat, and the key is B flat. Now, when we move on, let's put our flats again, B flat, E flat, but now this time we're going to add A flat. But now we're going to take the second to last flat. So instead of the A flat, it's going to be the E flat. So this whole key is the key of E flat. Hopefully that makes sense. You're just taking the second to last flat. So now we go again, B flat, E flat, A flat. And now D flat, the second to last flat is A flat. So we put that there. And then we're going to go B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and add another flat, which would give us G flat. So the second to last flat is D flat. So again, even though you end on G flat, you have to take the second to last flat. That's what I always got thrown off on. Okay. All this is very repetitive. G flat. Starting to write my flats in the wrong spot. B, E, A, D, G, C. It's the key of G flat. Second to last flat was G. B, E, A, D, G, C, and the last flat is F. But it's the key of C flat because, again, it's the second to last flat. So, hopefully all of that made sense. That's the whole flat side. And when it comes to the flat side, they take up these middle spots. The sharp side, that's why I start with the sharp side, because it just goes all the way around. Each one has a spot in the outer circle, so to speak. But the flats is where it starts up here, and then once you run out of space, they come in on the insides. Alright. Now to do the minors. All we have to do is put the name of the minor key. Hopefully you guys kind of remember how we figure out the minor key. Essentially, you take the starting note, which is like C in this case, the starting major scale, and you go down 3 half steps. I drew a handy dandy little piano up here because that helps me to figure out the half steps a little bit easier. So when I say go down 3 half steps, we go from C, we go down to B, which is 1 half step, then we go to B flat, which is 2 half steps, and then we end at A, which is our 3 half steps. So this will be A minor. The minors are all going to be lowercase, and they're going to go on the inside rim of the circle. So C major, its relative minor is A minor. Okay. Now we come over to G. Find G on the piano. We go down 1 half step, 2 half step, 3 half step, and we land at E. So this is E minor. Then D here. Unfortunately, my piano only goes a limited ways, so I'm gonna have to jump around here. But anyway, so we go down 1 half step, 2 half step, and if we come all the way back here, we go from C to B. That's our 3rd half step. So D to B. Yeah, okay, I did that right. Just making sure. Anyway. Now A. So we find A up here, go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. We end on a black key this time. So now you have to figure out, is it F sharp or G flat? Well, let's look at the key. What makes more sense? Is there even a G flat in that key? No. But there is an F sharp. So the key, the minor key, is going to be F sharp. So you definitely have to think about, is the note even in that specific key we're talking about, that major key? If it's not, you have to use the enharmonic version, the other version. Anyway, we'll find more examples like that, so don't worry. Okay, then E. Come up to E. 1, 2, 3. We land, it's either D flat or C sharp. So let's look. Would it be D flat or C sharp? Probably C sharp, because C sharp is actually in the key signature. So we're just going to do a little C sharp down here. Alright. Now to B. 1, 2, 3. That gives us either A flat or G sharp. If you can figure out the pattern, it's going to be G sharp, because this is pretty much the sharp side. So the sharp sides are going to be sharp, the flat sides will be flat. I mean, as a general rule, could it be an exception? Absolutely, but anyway. Alright, now down to F sharp. So now we need to make sure to actually start at F sharp. 1, 2, 3. That puts us at E flat or D sharp, which we know at this point is probably going to just be D sharp. And actually, I'm going to put that a little bit on the inner rim, minor keys, because then when we go to write these minor keys, we can put it just under the staff. I don't know, it makes it a little more clear. That's not a big deal, so don't worry about what I just said if you missed that. Anyway, so our last one for the sharp side is C sharp. So again, I'm going to have to jump around a little bit, but essentially, so you have C sharp, then down to 1 half step, 2 half step, 3 half step. So that's either A sharp or B flat, but in this case, it's going to be A sharp. Cool. So that's the sharp side, and we do just the same exact thing for the flat side. So again, we start at F. So find your F up here. We go down 1, 2, 3. It just puts us at D. D minor. And then B flat. 1, 2, 3 puts us at G. Then E flat. Right here. E flat. 1, 2, 3 puts us at C. And then A flat. Here. 1, 2, 3 puts us at F. This is fun, right, guys? D flat is next. Yep. So D flat to C, that's 1 half step, 2 half steps, 3 half steps. So it's either going to be A sharp or B flat. But if we look at the key, it's D flat, and it's going to have B flat in it. It's not going to have A sharp in it. So the minor key will be B flat. G flat. Okay. G flat. 1, 2, 3. That either puts us at D sharp or E flat. But it's G flat, so it's probably going to be E flat. And E flat's in the key signature, so that makes more sense than G sharp. G sharp is not in the key signature. And then C flat, which is a good one, right? We don't even have a black key for C, right? There is no such thing as C flat. But what's enharmonic to C flat? B natural. So we're actually going to start on B for this case. So B, start here, and then go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. And that puts us at either G sharp or A flat, which, as I'm sure you guys guessed, it's going to be A flat, because A flat is in the key signature. Alright, so that's your whole circle of fifths all filled out, sharp and flat side, with all the relative minor keys. So, that's page 1 done. Okay, let's see what we got here. Compose the following minor scales. Oh, this will be fun. Alright, so for our first minor scale, we're going to start with F sharp harmonic. So, first step is we're going to want to figure out what the major scale is to figure out the key signature. Because I don't know off the top of my head the key signature for F sharp minor. Now, you could look at your circle of fifths and figure it out in 2 seconds. But just in case you guys don't do that, I'm going to actually, stretch this out a smidge and re-explain it real quick. But anyway, so to figure out the key signature for F sharp minor, you start at F sharp, which would be here in treble clef. And then you go up 3 half steps. For the circle of fifths, we always went down on the piano 3 half steps. But when you're going the opposite way, if you already have the minor and you need to find the major, you have to go up 3 half steps. So we go from F to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's going to put us only a space above, which is not 3 steps, but it's still 3 half steps if you think about it. If we go back to the piano real quick, I can show you. So you see we have our F sharp here. We go up 1 half step, 2 half step, 3 half step. That puts us at our A. even though it's only one space on the staff, it doesn't matter. That's still 3 half steps. It's hard for people to like conceptualize that, but I would recommend you literally just draw a little piano on the test, or just if you can mentally picture one, that's going to help you the most on these. But anyway, so F sharp's minor is relative to A major. So we come back here. So F sharp minor goes to A major. Alright, so then we think, what's in the key of A major? Well, let's see, we put our first, well, assuming that it's not A flat. If it just says A, or just would be B, or just F, we're going to assume you start with the sharp side when I go through this little process here. So anyway, so I'm going to write down the first sharp that I know of, which is F. And if you raise F up half a step, that gives you G. We're not trying to find G major, so okay, that's not it. So now we're going to add another sharp. Our next sharp would be C. You raise C sharp up half a step, that gives us D. We're trying to find A major, so that's not right. So now you're going to add another sharp. So I'm going to add G. G sharp. You raise G sharp up half a step, that gives us A. That's our A major. Now, if you already have all that memorized, or you just look at the circle of fifths, good for you. That's cool too. It's there. You might as well use it. I'm just explaining in case, I don't know, you didn't feel like doing it, or you wanted to take the long way. I'm not that concerned. Anyway, so the point is, so now we know F sharp minor is going to have 3 sharps, because it's relative to A major, which also has 3 sharps. Anyway, so now you don't need to do anything else with A major. Don't think A major anymore, because your starting note isn't going to be on A like most people would think. You're still looking for F sharp minor. So we're going to start on F, which in treble clef is right there. And we're going to draw out a little scale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that puts us to F up there. Perfect. Okay. So right now, the way we have it is natural minor. Natural minor is where you just write out your notes, and according to the key signature, that tells you your notes. Like, you're great. Natural minor, perfect, done. But it's harmonic minor, so we're going to go that one step more. For harmonic minor, we raise the 7th note value, which is the E right here. And we look, is E already sharp? No, this is F, C, and G. So E is just natural at this point. So how you raise E up half a step is by adding a sharp, because you raise the 7th note value. And that's just harmonic minor. All you have to do is raise the 7th. And we raise the 7th. And you don't have to write it going up and down, because it doesn't change going up and down. When it comes to something like melodic minor, you have to, like down here, G melodic, you have to write the ascending and descending version because it changes. Harmonic, it doesn't. You just raise the 7th, both up and down, and that's it. Alright, that one's done. E flat natural minor. Now, we already know it says natural minor, so you're not even going to have to do this whole raise the 7th or raise the 6th and 7th or anything. You just write your key signature, write out the notes, and you're done. So cool. So E flat minor. For this one, since I've already explained it before, I'm not going to go re-explaining it. Let's just look for E flat minor on our handy dandy chart right here. E flat minor is relative to G flat major, which has 6 flats. Perfect. So we're just going to write in our 6 flats. So we have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and then 2 more G flat, which is, yeah, down here. Wow. G flat and C flat. Cool. I know I spaced out those flats super awkwardly. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so again, we're starting on E flat. So, there's E flat, F, E. Yeah, okay. I knew that. Don't worry about it. Go E, and we just draw out our notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And since it's natural minor, we don't do anything else. You wrote out your notes, you have the key signature, you're golden. Alright, and the last one, melodic minor, G melodic. Again, we're just going to go to a circle of fifths here for it. Okay, so, wow, I already forgot what we were looking for. Just G melodic. Okay. So where's G? Right here. G minor is relative to B flat major, which has 2 flats. Cool. So we're just going to put 2 flats. So B flat and E flat. Alright. Now we're not going to worry about the melodic part yet. Let's just write out our notes for G. So we're going to, G's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Cool. So now for melodic, we raise the 6th and 7th note going up. And on the way down, I guess I'll just write it out now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the way going down, we have to lower them again. So we raise them going up, lower the 6th and 7th going down. So for going up, our 6th note is E. Is E already affected in the key signature? Yes, it's flat. See, E is flat. So in order to raise E just a half step, we're only adding a natural. If you make it sharp, you're going up a whole step. And that's not what we're looking for. You're only going up a half step. So if it's flat, you're just going to make it natural. Now, for F, is F affected by the key signature? Nope. So F is just already natural. So now to raise F, you have to actually add a sharp. So that's the 6th and 7th raise going up. Now going down, we just have to basically reverse that to lower them half a step. So instead of F sharp, it's going to be F natural. And instead of E natural, it's going to be E flat. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is just basic review for your guys' midterm anyway, so you should have that down. Alright, oh, and intervals. These are fun. Not really. Doesn't matter. So it does say think of the bottom note when we're trying to figure out these intervals. So basically we want to figure out the number, which is really just a space in between them. And then if it's major, minor, augmented, or diminished intervals. I'm going to write out my handy dandy chart over here because I like to think of it that way. If the number value is a major value, then you're going to use this chart where it goes major, down to minor, down to diminished, and up to augmented. Or if it's already a perfect value, it only goes up to augmented and down to diminished. If you guys don't know what any of this means, you have to check out my other videos. Anyway, and then as a quick refresher, our major intervals is 2, 3, 6, and 7 equals major. In unison, 4, 5, and 8 are perfect. So now knowing all of this, let's start to figure out these intervals. So it says think of the bottom note. So see the bottom note here in treble clef, that's E. So we think, okay, the key of E major. The key of E major, I'm just going to look at another circle of fifths instead of flipping the page all the time. You guys can feel free to flip and look at your own circle of fifths, whatnot. But anyway, so the key of E, if I look, has 4 sharps. So that would be, wow, F, C, G, and D. F, C, G, and D. And we look at our top note here. It's a C. Well, the note C is affected by the key signature of E. Because the key signature of E says, hey, C needs to be sharp. In this case, C is not sharp, which means it's naturally lowered half a step. Yeah, I know this is sounding a little weird. You know what? I'll get right back to that in a second. Let's figure out our number value first. So we start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe there's 6 apart if I just counted that correctly. Yeah, we're good. Anyway, so this is 6. And knowing that that's 6, we come over here. 6 is major. So no matter what we do now for the next part, we're going to be using this chart. Okay, now that that's out of the way. So again, I was saying key of E, this needs to be sharp. The fact that it's not means they already lowered it. So that means it's not major anymore, like our little thing would say. They already lowered it, so it's minor instead. So this is going to be a minor sixth. Hopefully that made sense. If this was sharp, like the key signature of E would have it, then it would be a major sixth, and we'd be fine. Alright, moving on. Now, before I even start talking the rest of the stuff, let's just figure out the number first. That's a 2, right? They're just an interval of 2. Nothing crazy there. And 2 is in our major category. So we're going to start with this chart, if we're going to do anything. Okay. So now we look at the bottom note. Key of C. The key of C, as we already know, has nothing in the key signature. So literally any note, as long as it's not sharp or flat, is good. So this note D, it's not sharp or flat. And the key signature of C doesn't say anything about D, so it's good. And it was already major, as we know here, so it's just going to be a major 2. Major second. We don't have to do anything else with it. Alright. This is a D. The key of D has, just gotta look real quick. Key of D has 2 sharps. So that's F and C. So let's look. Here's an F. Up. But as the key signature D says, F needs to be sharp. And in this case, F is sharp. So we're good. It's a third, if you didn't already figure that out. So for a third, we're starting with our major chart. But we don't even have to go anywhere on our chart because F sharp is in the key signature of D. So we're good to go. We're golden. It's just a major third. We didn't have to do anything with it. Okay. Bottom note here is G. So the key of G has 1 sharp, and that's F sharp. We look at our, well, again, how much is this apart? It's 4 apart. Okay, I always forget to do the number first. It's very helpful if you just do the number first. Anyway, so key of G has just 1 sharp, which is F sharp. So then we figure out our top note here, that's C. In the key of G, it doesn't say to do anything with C, just C needs to be natural. In this case, C is natural, so again, we're good there. Except it's a 4th. And our thing says down here that's perfect. 4s are perfect. So it's going to just be a perfect 4th. Again, if that C was sharp or flat or something, that's out of the key signature, so then we'd have to use this little chart over here to figure out, is it augmented or diminished, you know? Anyway, but C natural is within the key of G, so we're good. It's just a perfect 4th. Alright. This next one, oh, now we're in bass clef, so be remembering that. So this is a C now. Yeah. Anyway, so the space between them is a third. So we know third is major. So we'll be using this chart, if any. Alright. Now, the key of C, as we know, has nothing in its key signature. So the fact that it has an E flat here in the chord is a problem, because E should be natural according to the key signature of C. So anyway, so with E being flat, means we have to come over to our chart, which starts at major, and we have to go down a half step because the note is flat, which makes this now a minor third. Interesting, we haven't had to do an augmented or diminished yet. Those are fun. Anyway, for this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is major, so we'll be using this chart, if any. And with that being an A, the key of A has 3 sharps, F, C, and G. As we see up here, this is G. And the key signature says G needs to be sharp. G is sharp, so it's right in the key signature. And like we just said, 7 is major, so it's just going to be a major 7th. Make sure also that when it's major, you're doing a capital M, and it's minor, it's a lowercase m. Obviously, if you start just mixing that up, your teacher's not going to know if you're talking major or minor. Anyway, Should be a duh moment, but anyway. Alright, now we're looking at the key of B. Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, duh, it's perfect octave. Okay, 8. And as we know, 8 is part of our perfect here. So no matter what, we'll be using this chart, if any. Alright. So for 8th, it says the key of B flat. The key of B flat has B flat and E flat. We look at the top note, that is B flat. The key signature says B needs to be flat, and it is, so we're good. It's just going to be perfect 8th. We don't have to do anything to it. That was strange, we never used an augmented or diminished in any of that. Okay, no big deal. Doesn't matter. Oh, that's cool, he gave me the same sheet again. Alright. Pardon me a moment. Just going to... You know what? Not worth it. Okay. So I already have this part filled out. Apparently he didn't give me a proper blank part to this page. So I'm just going to run through it real quick. Again, nothing here is nothing... should be too complicated. It should be pretty straightforward. But anyway, it's just meters. So you just have to figure out, is it simple or compound for the first column, and if it's duple, triple, or quadruple for the second column. So we look at the key signature 4-4. So we figure out, is that simple or compound? We know it's simple because it is one of the basic meters, like 2-4, 3-4, 4-4, 2-4, those things. It basically has a 4 on the bottom. If it had an 8 on the bottom, it's going to be compound. That's the general rule. So anyway, so it has a 4 on the bottom, so we know it's going to be simple. Then for the next part, if it's simple, all you do is look at the top note, the top number. So simple, and then you look at the top number, which is 4, which makes it quadruple. So, again, hopefully that made sense. Now, there's an 8 on the bottom here. So the 8 means it's going to be compound. Now, you can't, when it's a compound, you can't just look at the top number and say, oh, well, what's 12, right? No. Anyway, so for compound, now we have to think, how many groups of 3 does 12 break up into? Well, 12 divided by 3, if we just do some basic math, equals 4. So, what's like the word for 4 is quadruple. So whenever it comes to, an 8 on the bottom or a compound, you make sure you divide the top number by 3 to figure out your number over here. But if it's simple, you just literally look at the top. So now for 3-4, it has a 4 on the bottom, so you know it's going to be simple. And so if it's just simple, now you just look at the top number. It's a 3. 3 in words is triple. So again, it should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully it didn't confuse anybody too bad. The only thing to really remember is if it's compound, make sure you divide the top number by 3 to figure out what your other number over here is going to be. So 4 is quadruple. Anyway, and this last part, honestly, I don't even think I'm going to go over. We just went over this in the circle of fifths. To answer questions like this, you can literally just look at the circle of fifths. But essentially, you see one sharp, which is F sharp. You go up half a step, your major key is going to be G. Then you look at your little piano, think of it mentally, draw it, I don't care. Go down 3 half steps and you're going to get to E minor. Make sure these are capital letters, make sure these are lowercase. And you're pretty much set. The only thing that you can't look at the circle of fifths for, because you could obviously look all those up, is for this one. But even then, it's not going to be that bad. You just figure out, oh, how many flats is here, right? Then you go to your circle of fifths, what has 5 flats? Oh, the key of D flat does. And then you can just look, oh, what's the relative minor that we wrote, B flat? That should be very easy, a breeze. Don't worry about that. Anywho, so that's pretty much it for my review. If you guys need anything else more explained, just let me know. And I'm sure you guys will be fine for the final. None of this stuff is too out of the ballpark, I would assume, for most people. And good luck.